Okay, this is Mr. Peterson, and I'm doing one specific problem on the review for Chapter 2, Part A. It's the problem here, number 24. I wanted to do that with the document camera so you could see what I was doing on the calculator. Okay, so we have this data, and we have to get this into the computer, or the calculator's brains here. And you're going to start by actually clearing the calculator's random access memory. So you're going to hit the second key. Let me turn it on here. Second key and the plus sign. And then choose choice number 7. You can see it says reset there. And then all random access memory, which is choice 1. And confirm with 2. So it's second plus 712. And now the calculator is reset. All right, now we have to get the information, the data, into the statistical register. The stat key is located right here. Hit that stat key. And the first time around, we're going to use the edit menu. Later, we're going to use the calculate menu. So hit edit, which is already highlighted, so I'm just going to hit the enter key. It's ready for me to enter all these x values and these y values into list 1 and list 2. There is one x value down here that you want to stay away from. It's an incomplete point because there's no y value associated with it. That will have to wait towards the end of the problem when we answer the missing y value question here. Okay, so let me take a second. I'll enter all the data. I'm using the enter key between them. Right arrow. And then I'm going to check the data and make sure I have the right numbers in there. So my x's should be 30, 39, 50, 77, and 92. And my y values are 46, 86, 122, 128, and 81. Okay, next you're going to plot this so you can see what sort of shape this data makes. And you're going to go to this y equals key and tell the calculator you want to plot all those points. So go up to plot 1 and hit it on. After you've done that, you're going to stretch the window far enough that you can see that y value of 128 up, and it looks like in the x direction we have to go at least to 92, and we could do this manually under the window setting, but it's much easier to let the calculator do it. It's zoom number 9, and you could just hit 9 instead of scrolling down there. And you can see that we have data that does not line up in a straight line. Instead, you can envision a parabola going through and hit those. So that tells us we don't want linear regression on the next step. We're going to want quadratic regression. In other words, we want a quadratic equation that generates a parabola. Okay, go back to the stat key. We've already used the edit. You want to go over 1, hit the right arrow to get to that menu. And we're not going to use linear regression, which would give us a line of best fit. We want to use the parabola version, number 5. So if you hit number 5 there, and then you go down to the third line down, fourth line down actually, and you want to get a y1 variable on there, otherwise you're going to have to type this terrible formula in, and you probably won't get it right anyways if you do, because it's such a nasty set of numbers. But you got to get this thing stored on the y1 line. Well, they hide the y1 variable under the F4 menu. So you're going to go alpha trace, that's the F4 menu, and there it is. Hit enter since it's highlighted. There it is. That's what you need. You need to get that y1 on there so that it'll store the answer you get in a minute here. And when I uncover the answer by hitting calculate, you'll see why I didn't want to have to type it myself. Okay, so let me write all this down, and we're going to round on paper here. To 2 decimals is what I usually ask students to do. So y equals the first number for the a. You can see that's the one in front of the x squared in standard form. We're going to round to negative 0.08. For the b value in the standard form version up here, we want 10.03. We're rounding to 2 decimals. And the c value, we're going to round to, at the end here, 0.18 instead of 0.17 because of the influence of the next digit being 7. So minus 186.18. And all we have left to do in this problem, well, maybe we should take a little breather here and see how well it fits. If you hit graph, you'll see that this parabola does a pretty good job of mimicking this data. In fact, maybe too good. And the next thing we want to do is find out the value of y that's associated with this number 100 here. So you're going to go second, table settings. That's these two keys. And go down to the top line here and flag it in ASK mode, ASK. You want to do that on the top line, not on the bottom line. And then go second, and over here, table, and all you do is type in 100 for the x. It'll give you the answer here. The y would be 42, and we'll round off to 0.74. Now, if you try to do, if you try to type this on the y1 line, you're going to get the wrong answer. You have to store it like I taught you with the alpha trace y1 on the store reg equation line. I showed you that earlier. So that's how you do problem 24. And a little bit of advice. This problem takes quite a bit of time, so you want to finish your test and do this last. Okay, so I'll get back to the regular problems here and just leave that one for later.